Hey guys, Crave here, and I've been working on some achievements lately, and one of them involves getting the Icebound Frostbrood Vanquisher mount, which you're seeing right now. Now, you get that via the Glory of the Icecrown Raider 25 achievement, which involves a number of things that you have to do in the Icecrown or ICC raid. I had some trouble with two of those, and one of them was the topic of this video. The been waiting a long time for this achievement was a bit tricky. It involves one of the Lich King's spells, Necrotic Blade, building up to 30 stacks. Now, I was trying to solo with a hunter using the pet to bounce the stack off, or using ghouls as the stack builders, but it just wasn't working. Apparently, as the time I did it, or just recently, it only bounces off players. So here's a guide on how to do it, but keep in mind the following things first. The first one is that it doesn't matter if the Necrotic Plague stacks will go over 30. Some people were saying that it should be exactly a 30. No, it doesn't matter. It can go over 30 as the time I'm doing this. So just make sure that you're standing close to each other if you're part of a group. Or if you're part of a group, just make sure that you're close to each other to help build the stacks. The second thing is that you should take off any gear that can proc damage. Reason for that is that you don't want to prematurely kill the Lich King at a time that you don't want him dead yet. The third thing is that you can do this in normal mode if you don't need the invincible mount, as I understand that only drops in heroic. The fourth one is that if you do decide to do this in heroic, you still have to watch out for the shadow trap mechanic, which can really just throw you off the platform. And the last thing I want to remind you guys is that it's important that really the Necrotic Plague stacks reaches 30. If someone dies before that, all will still get the achievement as long as all the members of that group, or both of you, if it's just two of you in the group, then you're basically just there when the Lich King is killed off. Now, if you don't feel comfortable, just make sure everyone confirms that they at least saw the 30th stack on their end. Now, there are a number of ways to get the been waiting a long time for this achievement, but the most important, as I mentioned, is to make sure that the necrotic stacks bounce between players and they reach at least 30. Now, some of the methods that you can do is that you can have a hunter pet be on passive and tank the Lich King, while you and another or a few other players just back up and let the stacks build. You can also have a monk's ox statue basically to tank the boss while the players back up. I think you get the gist of what it means here, but here are two different clips that I was able to save for you to see as an example. This is the first one and should be the least hassle in my opinion. Whether you do this on heroic or normal, the stack count is what matters, as I've been mentioning earlier. So what we did here was to get the initial Necrotic Plague to stack to about 2 or 3, I think 2 or 3, and then trigger the Lich King's end phase, basically start his RP. Now, when you get to that point, just leave him with 1 HP, or basically when he starts his RP, don't damage him at all. Just let the stacks build up between you and another player, or all of you if you're in a group. If you want to be sure, just stay away from him, don't look at him, and I'm assuming you've taken off any kind of gear that could accidentally damage him. Now, once you've confirmed that you've hit the required stack count of at least 30, just kill off the Lich King and get your achievement. Another way to do this is to simply let the stacks build up while the Lich King is still alive. So the first time I did this, I think I got the achievement when there were around 3 of us huddled near the Lich King on 25 normal. We even had, I think, the ghouls and other mobs around us, so I think we were a bit scared at the start, so we basically didn't damage anything throughout the fight, at least until we confirmed that we had the 30 required stacks of Necrotic Plague. Now, once all of us confirmed it, we triggered the end phase. Now, if you do this in heroic though, it becomes a bit of a hassle because you still have to avoid the shadow traps, and it means that all of you have to move in a group. So that can be a bit of a problem, but it's really up to you guys if you want to do this on heroic as well. In the clip you're seeing right now, the monk had his ox statues tanking the Lich King while we built up the required stacks. Now, we stayed back and waited, and then triggered the end phase once we had the required count. Since this was done on 25 heroic, as you're seeing in the clip right now, we did have to watch out for the shadow trap as we didn't want to get thrown off the platform. And that's how you get the achievement, well, as of the time I'm making this video. I hope this helps out anyone who's been having trouble. Thanks for checking this out, and I'll talk to you soon.